It's a fitting end to Anthony Albanese's first year in office, potentially a triumph. Parliament's been recalled, all the politicians are going back to Canberra for Thursday's hearing on the vote for the energy price relief bill. It's a momentous deal for Anthony Albanese because he's capping off a terrific year. I mean, he's the Red Adair of politics. He surpassed all expectations in fixing the mess left behind by 9 years of coalition government. But this energy bill isn't all that it seems. It's a bit of a gift to the fossil fuel companies. We'll get there in a sec because there's a bit of horse trading to come today and tomorrow. The crossbenchers hadn't even seen the draft legislation yet, and of course the devil is in the detail. But the fossil fuel giants and the financial press have been screaming blue murder for 2 days, hysterically saying near nationalisation. Near nationalisation? Absolute rubbish. This energy bill only deals with domestic production, which is like a fraction of total production. 90% of Australia's coal is exported. That's untouched. 80% of Australia's gas is exported. That is untouched. And the price cap at $12 a gigajoule is like well above the cost of production, which is about $5 a gigajoule. It was $10 a gigajoule 2 years ago, and it's gone as high as $25 a gigajoule. It's back to $22 a gigajoule on the spot market right now. So this is a gift. So these are crocodile tears being spent by the fossil fuel multinational companies. Now, all this has been written up by Daniel Bleakley for us this morning, the horse trading going on, the likely outcome in favour of Labor and Albanese. They have to strike a deal, of course, with the Greens. So the demographics, the political demographics have changed. It used to be striking a deal with the coalition. They are now irrelevant. They had a dozen policies, energy policies, none of which actually became much of a policy at all. They didn't really have a plan, and they still don't have a plan. So Albo, or rather Katie Gallagher in the Senate, is negotiating with Adam Bandt to get this deal through. And Bandt has said no coal subsidies. There was some suggestion there would be subsidies for the coal exporters, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen. The Greens are a bit snookered because they don't like this deal. It's too much of a gift to the fossil fuel sector. But the political reality is that if they knock it back, as with Kevin Rudd's CPRS many years ago, which gave rise to the poisonous relationship between Labor and the Greens. If they knock it back, they're knocking back, it's not much, it's about $58 per person in energy bill relief, but it is something, and politically it is fantastic because it caps off a year of reform, albeit politically expedient reform by Labor and Anthony Albanese. So you're going to hear a lot of rubbish in the mainstream media. Those are the numbers. We've just given them to you. But to give you an idea of the propaganda going on here, Callum Foote, our young reporter, exposed the Minerals Council, that's the peak lobby group, and the fossil fuel giants for claiming $80 billion extra in taxes paid because they conveniently omitted GST rebates. They counted the GST they paid, but didn't count the GST rebates that they got back. It is a complete fraud. We've exposed them for that. The media this year, to their credit, didn't run the new EY report. It used to be Deloitte, which used to give its imprimatur to this absolute nonsense about how much taxes and how much royalties we pay in Australia. It's a furphy. Most of them are foreign multinationals that pay very little, if any, tax. And right now, they're making super profits. Now, in the UK, Boris Johnson, the Tory, brought in a 25% super profits tax. Rishi Sunak is just about to up that to 35%. That's a Tory government. In Australia, the Labor government is doing a little bit of price capping at very high price levels, but something is better than nothing. And he is likely, Anthony Albanese, to emerge triumphant. So when you see over the next couple of days the crocodile tears being spilled in the mainstream media about these poor gas companies being taxed near nationalisation, bear in mind those numbers. The majority, the vast majority of this coal and gas we're talking about is exported. It only affects Australian consumption, the domestic market. And bear in mind also that WA actually has a domestic reservation policy whereby they earmark gas for domestic consumption. So the price there is a fraction. It's about $7 a gigajoule compared to the $12 price cap that Labor is advocating. This is a big relief for the energy giants as much as it is a small relief for consumers.